Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
I can go first, so that way you can still organize. Welcome to the Enter The Fangirls podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Lexie, and we're two girls with a slight obsession of everything pop culture.
When did we say that we started the scavenger hunt? Was it February?
Yeah, I think beginning of February.
All right, so it's been 2 months. Technically 3. But
It's been 2.
It's been 2. It's been 2.
Which
yeah,
we gave ourselves that time frame.
Okay, math is not mathing for me today.
It
has only
not.
been 2. Jeez. But we're finally talking about our scavenger hunt watches, what we watched, what we loved, what we didn't like, all that jazz. I think last year's went smoother for us. However, I think we watched better movies this time. At least personally.
I was nervous in the beginning because I thought like the movies I was choosing weren't good, and I was like, oh, I haven't watched something I liked, but I think I saved the best movies towards the end.
I started out with a lot of flops.
Yeah, you did.
It took me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish I got like an average rating of all my movies that I watched, but that was too much math.
Yeah.
It's fine. I did enjoy that we didn't have to rush for a month to finish 30 movies.
But maybe that would have been better for me because, oh my gosh, did I slack. But also I had so many movies I like actually wanted to pay attention to, so it wasn't like I could just put it on background while I did stuff like I did last time.
There's definitely some movies that I want to pay more attention to, but I watched them at work and I paid enough attention. Maybe I should have paid a little bit of attention to some more movies. It's so weird. The movies that I think I paid more attention to were at work than rather in my own home.
Interesting. I found that I put movies on in the background and then ended up paying more attention to them and actually really enjoying them.
Yeah.
Which I guess is good.
Yeah, it is.
So, shall we give a rundown of what we watched?
Yeah. Are we also giving our ratings?
We can give our ratings.
Okay, this might take me a few minutes to figure them out, but we can do it.
Sorry, I'm going to where we started. First one was a Winona Ryder recommendation. So one of her favorites.
Oh, I was like, wait, I don't think I watched them in one.
No, just one of her favorite movies.
Okay.
I watched With Nail and I gave it 1.5 stars.
I
really didn't like it.
Yeah, you really didn't.
I was being generous.
Oh my god.
I was so bored.
I watched Kiss of the Spider Woman and I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't bad. I think I was just expecting a little bit more.
Did you say it was kind of political?
Oh, it was very political.
Yeah, and that wasn't what I was expecting either.
Neither. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
The funny thing about mine is it has a 3.9 average rating, and I did not enjoy it.
Kiss of the Spider
It had
Woman.
its moments, but
Kiss of the Spider Woman has 3.7. It did win an William Hurt, I believe, won the Oscar. Yes, he should. He's great.
Movie that has been on your watch list the longest. I picked Scarface, and I gave it 3.5.
I chose Ransom, and I gave it 3.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
A movie with a place in the title. I had My Own Private Idaho. 3.5.
I watched The Florida Project, and I gave it 4.5.
A mindfuck movie. I watched Donnie Darko, and I gave it 4.
I watched The Prestige, and I gave it 4.5.
What's the next one? Robin Williams film. I watched Good Will Hunting, and I gave it 4.5. That really should have been a 5. I don't know why I gave it 4.5.
Yeah. I watched Insomnia, and I gave it 3.
Eternal Sunshine. Oh wait, that's the one I watched. Movie you're pretty sure will make you cry. I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I gave it 4.5.
I watched Stepmom, and I gave it 4.
Amazing movie. Highest rated movie in your watch list. I was going to watch Cinema Paradiso. It was not available anywhere, even with a VPN. So instead, I had to go for like my third highest rated because everything else was already on my watch list and watched. So I ended up watching The Dead Poets Society, which was originally on my list, but got bumped out for Good Will Hunting. So I got to watch it anyway, and I gave it 4 stars. I'm really mad I couldn't watch Cinema Paradiso though.
Maybe if it's like somewhere on a streaming service here when you're here, we'll watch it. I read the plot to it and I was like, I don't know how this movie's gonna be. Like, it sounds interesting.
It just
and the
feels
rating
like
seems really good.
It just feels like it will make me like warm and fuzzy. I don't know.
Okay.
Just about it's just about the magic of movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's Sandra Bullock's favorite movie. That's why I want to watch it.
So really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
She admitted that on Ellen, so I'm like, okay.
Okay. I mean, well, I was gonna say it's gotta be good then. Then we watch Winona Ryder's favorite film. So
yeah, but she's a little odd. Love her to death.
That's true.
She's a little odd.
That is true. Very true. My highest rated film was Prisoners, and I gave it 4 stars.
Ooh. Movie you've heard crazy things about. I watched Eyes Wide Shut, and I gave it 3 stars.
Mine was Gone Girl, and I gave it 4.5.
Movie you want to see that isn't necessarily your style. I watched The Matrix.
I watched Nights in Rodanthe, and I gave it, where is it? 2 stars.
A film bro movie. I watched American Psycho. I gave it 4.5.
I watched, wait, no, I'm really curious I watched Inception, and I gave it 4 stars.
A 90s movie. I watched Gia, and I gave it 4 stars.
I watched The Usual Suspects, and I gave it, if I can find it. Oh, wait, no, wrong one. I gave it 3 stars.
A famous actor duo. I chose Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves, and I watched The Lake House, and I gave it 2.5.
I chose Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, and I watched Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and I gave it 3 stars.
An old Hollywood film. I watched Casablanca, and I gave it 5 stars.
I watched It Happened One Night, and I gave it 3 stars.
A movie featuring an actor or actress you have a crush on. I watched Brokeback Mountain for Heath Ledger, and I gave it, what did I give it? 3.5.
I chose Stanley Tucci, and I watched EVA, and I gave it 5 stars.
Hell yeah, you did.
Solely for Stanley Tucci.
Sure. But yes. A movie you've been too scared to watch. I watched Requiem for a Dream, and I gave it 4 stars.
I watched Barbarian, and I gave it 4 stars.
An LGBT film. I watched Bound, and I gave it 4 stars.
I watched Gia, and I gave it 5 stars.
A famous movie you haven't seen. I watched Basic Instinct, and I gave it 3.5.
I watched Steel Magnolias, and I gave it 4.5.
A film Twitter fave. I watched Fight Club, and I gave it 3.5. You have a lot of 3s and 3.5.
Like, I gave a lot of 3s too. There was a lot of like, it was good, but it wasn't great. I watched The Truman Show, and I gave it 5 stars.
A movie you've been itching to rewatch. I watched Titanic and I gave it 5, obviously.
I watched Clue and I give it 5, obviously.
A movie you wanted to watch based solely on the poster. I watched Valley of the Dolls and I gave it 3.5.
I watched Jawbreaker and I gave it 2.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
That's okay. A director you don't like or aren't sure you'll like. I watched Map to the Stars and I gave it 4 stars.
I watched Reservoir Dogs and I gave it 4 stars.
A friend's recommendation. I watched Clue and I gave it 4 stars.
I watched Dead Again and I gave it 3.5.
A horror film you haven't seen. I watched Psycho. Where is it? 4 stars.
I watched The Menu and I gave it 3.5.
Coming of age film. I watched Lady Bird and I gave it 3 stars.
I watched The Virgin Suicides and gave it 4 stars.
An Oscar winner you haven't seen. I watched The Godfather and I gave it 4 stars.
I watched Terms of Endearment and I gave it 3 stars.
A film that was controversial. I watched Taxi Driver and I gave it 4.5.
I watched Manhattan and I gave it 2 stars.
A 2022 release you didn't see. I watched Bones and All and I gave it 2.5.
I watched Don't Worry Darling and I gave it 4.5.
Our favorite category, women. I watched Gloria Bell. I gave it 1 star. It was the first one I watched too.
I watched, where is it? I watched Thelma and Louise and I gave it 4.5 stars.
As it deserves. A sequel film you missed. I watched Glass Onion and I gave it 2.5.
I watched Top Gun Maverick and I gave it 4.5.
And then finally, watch a movie starring a friend's favorite actor or actress. I had Jane Fonda and I watched Flute and I gave it 2 stars.
I watched Drowning Mona for Jamie Lee Curtis and I gave it 2.5.
Yeah. I guess I didn't have that many flops, but it just feels like I had so many.
Yeah.
Especially on ones I really
too.
thought I'd like.
It wasn't like that they were flops for me or like they were bad. It's just they weren't as amazing as I thought they would be. They were still good movies, but like I wasn't like fully interested in them.
Yeah.
But like you can recognize that they're good, just like you don't like them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like some of them are like ones I feel like maybe I need to just rewatch it when I'm paying more attention, but also like
Yeah.
I don't care to.
That's fair.
So to talk specifically about the ones that we really enjoyed or didn't like, or just ones we want to talk about more in depth, we have categories. So we have favorites, least favorites, highest rated, best overall. A surprising like one you didn't care about but really ended up enjoying, and then disappointment, one that might need a future rewatch, and we're just going to discuss our favorites that we recommended for each other. Or just discuss each other's recommendations, however I word that.
Sounds good. And before anyone says that these categories are all the same, they're different.
They are. They're very different. Who wants to start?
What one are we starting with?
What do you want to start with?
I don't care.
Do you want to start with favorite and least favorite?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
So my favorite's kind of shocking. I was gonna put this in the surprising but I didn't want to like this because I thought everyone hyped it up, but it was actually really good. Top Gun Maverick was so freaking good, and I didn't want it to be. It was
Izzy is watching this right now, punching the air. She loved that.
It was so good. And I've seen the original Top Gun and it was like, okay. And like, sequels usually don't follow up well.
I don't like sequels
This
for
one
that reason.
blew out of the water. It
Yeah.
was so good. This was, I thought, going to be like a background movie. No, I was like fully paying attention every minute.
I only ever heard good things about it, so
Well,
I haven't seen the original though, so I actually ended up seeing like the last like half hour or so of Maverick, but like
you really don't really need to know about the original to talk on,
Yeah.
besides the fact that
I know that there are some characters. Whoever Miles Teller's dad is
played by Anthony Green, and he dies in the first movie.
Isn't he in ER?
Yeah.
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 So the fact that he dies in the first movie is not fun.
No.
Um,
This one didn't have Meg Ryan. I don't care.
And she died too. I'm assuming they didn't get her, and that's why they writ her off. But it worked with the plot line that they had.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought people liked this movie because of Miles Teller. I thought people were thirsting over him. He was like
rightfully
attractive.
So, I guess.
Yeah, he was attractive. I'm not going to say that he wasn't. But the plot, the action, like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
It's fair.
And I cried. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna read my review because literally the last line made me cry.
I only knew like the brief context of it being his dad, and so like when I just like someone I was with was like watching it in the background, and I like kind of like heard, I'm like, oh my god, ow.
Yeah.
Like I don't have an emotional connection to this, and ow.
Okay. So
straight.
Sorry.
Watch it because I need to know what it says.
What?
You're watching Machin Story. Watch
I
it.
am. It's the Criterion Collection posted Dream Lover as a recommendation. So it's just
as they should.
A dinner scene.
Yeah,
should. Right? Go watch Dream Lover, everybody.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So brief context of the plot of Top Gun. Is his name Goose or is it Rooster? I think it's Goose. No, Rooster.
That's the dad. Goose is the dad. Because she
Goose
goes,
is that?
Hey, Goose, you big stud. And that's all I know.
Okay. So
the only part of the movie I know.
It's fine. More than I knew. So Rooster wants to go into like the Naval Academy, and as his mom's dying wish, she asks Maverick to make sure that he doesn't become a pilot so he doesn't die like his father. So Maverick pulls his application from the Naval Academy and he holds a grudge against him. So, in the first movie, Goose dies because of Maverick, basically.
Yeah.
So the line that literally killed me was, Maverick says, thanks for saving my life. And then Rooster goes, it's what my dad would have done. And I fucking lost it.
Yeah. They always have to get you with like one line.
I know. And I said for an action movie, I cried more than I thought I would.
That's fair.
It's an
action movie with heart.
It really had a lot of heart, let me tell you, man. But yeah, if you're thinking about not watching it because everyone was hyping it up, it's worth the hype, let me tell you. Oscar worthy? I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
But it was
I also
a fun
feel like
watch.
It's so hard to like say a movie deserves being Oscar nominated when it's like so hyped up on like TikTok and everything.
Exactly. Yeah, but I definitely recommend.
So my favorite, technically, I just realized could be under the one that you didn't care about but really enjoyed. However, it blows like everything else I watched out of the water, so it's going as my number one. It's Casablanca. I I really just never cared to watch it. It's been in like my watch list because like I just kind of like want to be able to say I watched Casablanca.
Yeah.
And just be able to say I've seen it. So I know like what it's all about. But I don't like wartime movies. I don't like old movies all that much. So I thought, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's black and white too. Like, yeah, it's just gonna feel so old. It was incredible. I loved it. Like, it was just like I was playing Sims as I was watching because I just wanted some background noise. Put it on so I could get through my list. I'm like, I don't really care about this one. Like, whatever. I'm just gonna put it on the background so I can just like have it and say I watched it. I ended up paying way more attention to it than what I was actually doing. I loved it. I cried. It was beautiful. Didn't expect to cry. I wasn't expecting to actually get like attached to these characters, but like I was. I'll just read my review. I won't read all my reviews because I give long ones sometimes, but I will read this one because it actually sums up my thoughts. I started with a quote, and it's we'll always have Paris. We lost it until you came to Casablanca, but we got it back last night. So actually, I'll give you the rundown.
Okay.
Oh wow, the plot doesn't actually tell you anything. These two, their names are Ilsa and Rick. They meet in Paris, I believe. And they like have like an affair, but it's like the war is coming or whatever, so they have to like leave the place. But she ends up leaving him to go to the train alone, like she doesn't show up. So then she shows up in his bar one night, married, like has a new guy. They see each other for the first time in years, and it's because the piano player is playing their song. And then Rick walks over and is like, Sam, I thought I told you never to play that song. And then looks and it's her. And the look they share flattened me. I was
done.
I was done for. And then, yeah, it's just kind of that. But anyway, my review. This is a movie I never quite cared to see for the most shallow of reasons. It's black and white, it's bold, it's a war movie, etc. But in the last year or so, I put it on my watch list and thought that maybe eventually I'd watch it just to say I have. But boy, am I ever kicking myself for waiting as long as I did because I was left in awe of it. I truly didn't expect to be as affected by this movie as I was. After all, we all know the ending by now. But the build up to it and how emotionally connected we became to Ilsa and Rick's relationship made it gut-wrenching, and I felt my heart sink into my stomach. I also never understood the significance of now, here's looking at you, kid. But as soon as it was delivered, I was struck with so much emotion. I love how casually that line was planted throughout. It just made their goodbye all the more poignant. My favorite part, however, was when Ilsa and Rick saw each other again for the first time since Paris. The look on their faces mixed with the music absolutely floored me. I can't wait to watch this again. What an absolute masterpiece. So throughout the movie, he calls her kid. So there's like a whole like sequence of like their affair. So you kind of like get the gist of it. But he's always calling her kid and is like, now, like here's looking at you, kid, yada yada. Like whenever they truce, like here's looking at you, kid. So then at the end, he doesn't tell her that he's putting her on a plane to get out of the war country.
Yeah.
So he just puts her on the plane. She's like, why aren't you coming? And he's like, whatever. And she like starts crying. He's like, now, here's looking at you, kid. And I'm done. I'm done for. Because they planted in there.
Yeah.
And then when it hits in the end in that context, I am done. It's so good. Now I know why it makes Jay Pritchett in Modern Family cry. I get it. Because there's a whole thing about how this is the one movie that will make him cry. And so his like 3-year-old son quotes the end scene to him. And he just starts sobbing. And now I get it. Such a good movie. And I did not expect it to be. And I went out and I bought it like the day after.
Of course you did.
It's right on my shelf. This is going to be such a long episode.
I know. I didn't really expect it to be.
No, me either. Some of them are probably going to go quick, though. I feel like we just had to get like our favorites out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any more favorites?
No.
Okay, I have 2 more that like I kind of consider favorites.
Okay, you can
actually. I have one other favorite and then like an honorable mention, I feel like.
Okay.
I'll be quick. I'll be brief.
Okay.
Bound. I was like already kind of excited for this one. So I found out about this one because in Chucky, it's Jennifer Tilly, and there's like a whole episode that just centers around her character Tiffany. But like she's possessed the body of Jennifer Tilly. Chucky's weird. So she is Jennifer Tilly, but she's Tiffany in Jennifer Tilly's body. So then Gina Gershon comes and she's playing herself, and they recreate the scene from Bound in Chucky. And so I'm like, okay, I need to see this movie.
Yeah.
So good. It got like less points because it ended up being a bit of a mafia movie, which I wasn't expecting. But like, listen, Gina Gershon has made, is it Gershon? I don't know how to say her last name.
Neither do I.
She's made some really shitty comments. We don't agree with her.
No.
However, her as a butch gay plumber in this movie is everything. And her and Jennifer Tilly have phenomenal chemistry. It's really good. And they're just be gay, do crime.
Be gay, do
and
crime,
for that, I
yes.
like it. I like it.
We support women's rights, but we also support women's wrongs.
We do. We very much support their wrongs. I think you need to watch this. It also has your boy Chris Maloney.
I might watch it for him.
Yeah.
Does he have a big part?
Yeah. He's a part of the mafia part. Yeah.
Well,
so he's like
funny.
bigger towards the end. What?
Okay. It's kind of funny that he's part of the mafia and now he's in a show that deals with the mafia and putting the mafia away.
Yeah. My like sort of honorable mention, like it's a favorite, but like it maybe wouldn't have made my top like 5 because my other favorites are in other categories.
Okay.
But American Psycho was really, really good. And I'm really glad I watched it. It lost half a star because they kill a dog and they almost kill a cat.
Sorry.
And I can't get past that. I think it was really rude. However, the scene with Paul, loved it, laughed. I thought it was funny. It was really good. Just the whole movie is very witty and clever. I really liked it.
It is. He did win bonus points though because he was not having the anti-Semitic jokes.
No. You want to be sexist? Fine. Anti-Semitic jokes? No. Hard no. So you know what? He gets one right.
He does.
Okay. On to least favorites?
Yeah, we can do least favorite. All right. So my least favorite are my 2 lowest rated, which I feel like shouldn't come to a shock. No. So the first one is Manhattan. And I want to preface this by saying the only reason why I watched this movie was for Meryl Streep. And let me tell you, Meryl Streep plays a lesbian. She's breathtakingly beautiful, and she's only in the movie for 5 minutes. I don't even see her kiss.
It's like Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah, it really is. I don't even get to see her kiss a woman.
So annoying.
And I will say the opening scene was really good. It gave me chills. It's like the love letter like to New York thing, but the rest was really fucking boring. It sucked. Why does anyone ever want to watch Woody Allen? He's literally straight pedophile. Like he was literally making out with a teenager the entire fucking movie.
I hate that he like self-inserts too. Like I've only watched one of his movies. I watched it for Mira Sorvino. So like I like that we're only watching his movies for like an actress. But like it's nothing special.
And he's nothing special to look at either.
No. Maybe he was good in maybe like his movies were really good when they came out, but like maybe it's just soured by like him.
Maybe
now, but like also just like they're not that exciting.
Manhattan has a 3.9 rating. Like I was expecting something better at least.
Yeah.
But like it really wasn't that great.
Okay.
And then my second one is Jawbreaker. And I just don't think I like this movie because I really just don't like Judy Greer.
I forgot she was in this.
And she's like in it.
And it's funny because I haven't watched it in years. And it's funny because I'm not big on Rose McGowan. McGowan? How do you say her name?
Rose McGowan.
McGowan. Okay. I'm not big on her, but your review was her.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah, I liked her. I just liked the bitchy character. Julie
That's
Greer
fair.
was just like really weird and awkward, and
Yeah.
I didn't care
She
for
always
it.
is. That's kind of her thing.
Yeah. I wanted to like it, but I didn't pay much attention to it either. So
I'll
maybe
have to
that's why.
rewatch it to like see it, but I feel like I remember it kind of being campy-ish.
Very campy.
Yeah.
Very campy.
Just kind of absurd, and I think that was fun.
I was expecting a little more Heather's vibe, but like campier.
Because it's like promoted as like a cheerier Heather's, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Heather's is dark.
Heather's is very dark.
Yeah. But that's what makes it great.
Yeah, I just don't think the camp worked.
No.
Oh well.
Maybe I'll have different thoughts when I rewatch it.
Maybe.
Are those your only least favorites?
Yeah.
Okay. My least favorites, well, one of them was With Nail and I. This one sounded like good. I'll read the plot because I can't actually tell you what it was about. Two out-of-work actors, the anxious, luckless Marwood and his acerbic, alcoholic friend Withnail, spend their days drifting between their squalid flat, the unemployment office, and the pub. When they take a holiday by mistake at the country house of Withnail's flamboyantly gay Uncle Monty, they encounter the unpleasant side of the English countryside, tedium, terrifying locals, and torrential rain. It sounds good.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
That's a shame.
Like, I was watching it while I was doing my makeup because, like, just like having something to watch, and I just was mind-numbingly bored.
That's annoying.
Yeah. And I just feel like it had hope. It's also just like it's very British. So like I didn't understand some of the stuff they were saying. Like they were talking in like, you know, British tongues, I guess. But it's really just like not fun either. Like it's very bleak. And just, yeah. Like one of the reviews is one of the great feel-bad films of all time. So, and then someone else said this must be hilarious if you're British and understand what the fuck they're talking about.
That's actually hilarious,
right? My other least favorite one though was this one disappointed me so much. It probably could be under the disappointment one, but like it was bad. I did not like it, and this is what I started with. It's Gloria Bell. So I wrote a list about Julianne Moore's best performances, and this was one of the ones that I got asked to put on. So, oh my God, am I admitting I'm a fraud? But so like I put this one on, and because of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Let me go watch it. So I watched it. It's like I don't even know if it's just boring or just not a good movie, but it got a star, and that was generous. And so it's just like she's like a divorcee who's just like living her best divorcee life. She goes to like clubs every night and just like dances away all night. And then she just like meets a guy and just like is kind of like balancing dating as an older woman after like a divorce and all that. Just has so much potential. And don't get me wrong, Julianne Moore is great in it. Like her performance is really good. So boring. And I feel like they did a lot. What?
Just not it.
Yeah, just not it. And I just feel like they did like a lot of the same scenes just repeatedly. Like there was one like ongoing scene that kept like coming up, and it's just like her singing in the car every time she was driving somewhere, which was funny.
Yeah.
But then like there's other scenes that are just like identical. And I'm just like, I tuned out so much. So I'm sorry, Julianne Moore, if you're watching this, which I hope you are not, but
and what category did you have this for again?
Women.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. I do have one last one. Again, kind of just disappointing. Bones and All. It was.
Is that the Paul Mescal one?
No. It's Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember what the Paul Mescal one is.
It's like the sun one. It's something with sun in the title, I think.
Yeah. God, I can't remember what it is. But no, this one, so I didn't know what this one was when it came out, but then everybody started talking about how this is like a cannibal movie,
Oh,
a
good.
cannibal love story, and I'm like, well, now I'm intrigued. So I watched it, and I knew going in it was gonna be like fucked. So that isn't like why I didn't like it. Again, boring. Like, I don't know what it is with all these movies having really interesting plots and being boring. It was so long, too. It's 131 minutes. It could have ended like 6 times. At one point, I thought it did end and it still had 20 minutes left.
I hate that.
It was, yeah. Like, did I even give this one a review? Oh, I gave it a long review. Great cinematography. It does get that. It gets really good points for the cinematography. And I did say it's a really bold film, and I'll give it like points for that. And I'm honestly confused on how it got greenlit because it's a lot. And it shows you everything. Like everything. So don't eat while you're watching it. It's nasty.
Oh God, okay.
And like it's surprisingly good at like being soft still while even like with its like subject matter, but like just boring. Like I don't really care to ever watch it again. And I also said like it didn't feel like there were any stakes for these characters, even though they're cannibals on the run until the last 10 minutes. And I'm like, you're gonna make me sit through a 2.5 hour-ish movie for what?
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah.
I was just like looking at the I was curious how high it was rated, and
It's got it good.
it had a 3.9. The girl from Hocus Pocus 2, I decided to follow her on Letterboxd, and she rated it 3 stars, and she says, "Don't get the hype. I'm so sorry."
Yeah. People loved it. It's fine. It's far too long. I watched a lot of really long movies that just don't need to be as long as they are. Those are my like actually least favorites. Just like ones like I don't want to watch again.
The top rated comment's really funny.
What was it? Hang on.
If I had a nickel for every time Timothée Chalamet had an on-screen romance with a cannibal, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's
Weird that it happened
twice.
Yeah. Did I like that? I might have liked that.
Might have. Maybe. The second one is lots to digest. I love that.
I did like it.
Oh my God.
Letterboxd reviews are my favorite thing.
Or there's something else, man. Let me tell you.
They make me so happy. Okay. On to highest rated.
Okay.
Which is different from favorite.
And different from best.
Yes. However, I still would claim mine in my favorites of the watches. But it fit this category better.
Oh, I don't know if I want to. I think I might pull you.
Okay.
I think I might do my highest rated as a 4.5, but the best as of the 5.
Yeah, I only had 2 5s. I mean, yeah.
I had 4 5s.
I should bump up Good Will Hunting to 5.
You should.
I'm going to. We're going to go bump that up. I don't know why I gave it 4.5.
Okay, I'm going. How many 4.5s did I give? I felt like I gave a lot of 4.5s. I did give a lot of 4.5s. Okay. You know what? We're putting the Truman Show for both. What category are we currently doing?
Highest
Our
rated.
highest rated. Okay. Truman Show is my highest rated. Rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I wouldn't consider it as one of my favorites, but like it was good. I enjoyed it. It made me feel empty inside.
So many movies I watched at that. It was not a fun time.
No, it wasn't. I was also quite confused of what was going on for a lot of it. Just because, like, I knew what was going on, but trying to figure out how they got there was really confusing. And also, I was so confused at how Truman was born there. It was low
As
key a
soon as you
mindfuck
watched
movie.
it, as soon as you watched it, I added it to my watch list. So I'm excited to watch it now.
It's like, so I won't spoil too much, but like clearly, like everyone's watching him, correct?
Yes.
But like he's in his own little bubble. But I don't know how he got into that. Like he was born in that bubble. So did his parents willingly go in that bubble?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to watch and tell me. That's
Okay.
really confuzzled.
Look up one of those Truman Show explained videos or something.
I might have to.
Yeah. I had to do that with American Psycho.
Fair. But it made me feel so empty, but so good. I did also just looked it up. The director of The Truman Show also directed Dead Poets Society.
Okay, that's gonna be fun.
Yes.
I'll talk about Dead Poet Society. Will I talk about Dead Poet Society? Yes, I will. Okay.
I think Jim Carrey is one of the most underrated actors of all time.
He's in my highest rated. Which I
Like,
didn't even clue in until now. He's so good.
he really can do everything.
He can.
And I don't think people realize that.
No, I didn't realize that. Like I
The
went
man
into
plays the Grinch.
Yeah. You go to Grinch, I go to Dumb and Dumber.
That as well.
And I'm just like,
have you ever seen The Mask?
no.
Is that so? I think I've seen parts of it. I have to rewatch it because I was like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a serious role of his or not. I think it is.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a rewatch.
I don't really know what it is.
Anyway, I also loved my review for this. My review is I'm also okay. What's his name? Ed Harris is in this. And I keep getting Ed Harris mixed up with some guy in SVU. Two totally different people, but they look the exact same to me.
Is he the guy from Stepmom? I feel like he is.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I watched a lot of Ed Harris because he was in The Truman Show, Top Gun, Stepmom. I feel like he was in more.
I found your most watched actor of the year.
Right?
Mine was Keanu for this. I watched 3 Keanu movies. Which I'm not mad about. I love Mr. Reeves.
I was gonna say maybe it's Robin Williams, but I can only think of 2 that he was in. But anyway,
what was your other one he was in?
Insomnia, and he was in Dead Again.
Right. You told me that.
Oh, that was a shock. He did have a big part though.
I watched 2 Robin
what his
Williams
part was.
movie where he what?
I couldn't even tell you what his part actually was.
I watched 2 Robin Williams movies and it just made me like want to just watch everything that man has ever done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read you a heartbreaking quote. I mean a heartbreaking review from Good Will Hunting when I get there.
Why are you gonna do that?
Because if I have to read it, everybody else has to read it.
Okay, that's fair. What's my review of The Truman Show? Why can't I find it? Oh, here it is. I said, this film made me realize I've always been channeling the main character energy. Delusional, depressed, and paranoid, everyone is watching me. I am Truman Burbank.
Hi, Truman. I'm Sam.
Nice to meet you.
I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, it's low-key a mindfuck movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna freak me out.
Just
like the concept just gives me heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Definitely heebie-jeebies.
Speaking of Jim Carrey, though, he's in my highest rated as well. So, like, women for Jim Carrey. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh.
Would also claim this as one of my favorites. I really liked it. So I almost watched this for last year's Scavenger Hunt. But then I think I was choosing between this and something else. And I ended up watching the trailer for them to figure out which one I would like more. And the
Okay.
trailer for this does not do it justice because I immediately took it off my list and I only added it back like a few months ago.
Okay.
So then I watched it finally and it's amazing. Like, I get why people love this movie as much as they do. I don't get people who find it like a comfort movie. This is not comforting in the slightest. Do you know the premise of it?
I read the plot.
Okay.
Not the plot, the Letterboxd synopsis.
Yeah. So like his girlfriend like erases her memory of him and he does the same. So I thought it was literally going to be like they already have it done. Like you see them get it done and then they just meet each other again. I guess it isn't a spoiler. It isn't a spoiler. So because I know you want to watch this eventually, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not like a spoiler, but like we actually like are in his mind as his memories of her are disappearing. So I thought the movie was going to be like them like bumping into each other on the street and like falling in love and then eventually finding out they were together once. No, we go with him throughout the entire movie and revisit every single one of his memories with her.
That's quite depressing.
It's so, yeah. There's one in specific. I like to add little quotes that make me want to cry to my Letterboxd reviews. So the quote from this one that I chose was completely out of context. It's not going to make any sense as to why it's sad entirely, but it's Kate Winslet and she's like, "Come back and make up a goodbye at least. Let's pretend that we had one." In the context of it, my heart was ripped out of my chest.
I mean, that line's just depressing to start with.
Yeah. But like I finished this and I honestly thought this was going to make me cry. I wanted to cry, but like I just sat there as the credits rolled. Like I just let the credits roll and I just sat there numb and empty and hollow inside and I felt like every inch of my soul had been sucked out of my body.
Lovely.
Yeah. Will say I didn't like the side characters. Like, so the whole thing is they come and do the experiment in your house so they can erase your memories. And then when you wake up, you have no memory of it. You don't wake up in a hospital. You don't wake up seeing these people. So like you have literally no memory of any of this happening. So while it flips between him and his memories and then the people doing the experiment. But I could not have cared less about them because I just wanted to be in his memories. And also, I'm not like the biggest Kirsten Dunst fan. So like,
yeah.
And it was her and Mark Ruffalo, which was an odd pairing. And then Elijah Wood was also in this, and I'm not big on him either. But Kate Winslet was phenomenal, and Jim Carrey was kind of cute. So
I can't see Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet together though.
Neither did I. They have really good chemistry. They were very cute.
Okay.
And it's made me realize how versatile Kate is. Because I guess I haven't seen much of what she does, but like I watched Titanic and then I watched this and I'm like, where?
That's fair.
So I feel like there was something else I was going to say about it. No, I can't remember. Oh, no, I do remember. A lot of it takes place in Montauk, which made me very happy.
Which I love. We can go visit filming locations.
Oh my god, can we? One of the quotes, she's like, literally meet me.
It's all gone by now.
Probably. She's like, meet me in Montauk, and I'm like, okay, I'll
Say
be
less.
there.
Say less.
Yeah, one of the reviews is, yes, my favorite genre of film, pain.
Yes.
So good. Now I'm rethinking about it, and I'm sad. Do you have any more for that one or no?
I mean, my other 2 5-stars were Gia. Gia was not like really 5 stars, but like just in my gut at the time, I was feeling 5 stars.
Do I have that on my list? No. I was just gonna like jump in on you with it, so
like also
I didn't realize it was
why didn't no one tell us it was a true story?
Yeah. I think that's what did it a little bit for me. Yeah. I'm like,
And also, I think I gave it 5 stars because I've only watched 2 Angelina Jolie films my entire life. Angelina Jolie is such a phenomenal actress.
She's so
Like,
good.
You see her in person and you think she's the quietest little thing and like just breathtakingly gorgeous. And the 2 things I've seen her in, she's batshit crazy.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, like she's very good at playing mentally ill people. Does that sound bad?
No.
Because like
I
Girl
wouldn't say Gia
Interrupted.
is mentally ill. Girl
Yeah.
Interrupted, she definitely was.
Yes. Yeah, that's the whole premise of Girl Interrupted. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Gia just had like abandonment issues.
Yeah.
And like, so just like
Drug problems.
emotionally damaged people. She's very good at playing.
Yes, she is.
And oh my gosh. Yeah. Her like first freak out in this, I'm like,
Gia.
yes.
Yeah, I really wish I had a warning that I was not watching a cute little sapphic movie.
No, Twitter had me thinking it was going to be a very happy, cute little gay movie. It was not.
Yeah, as soon as I realized that was based on a true person, I should have known something bad was going to happen.
You told me to get tissues ready. I thought they were just going to break up in the end.
Yeah,
Then when
you
it came
wish.
up, when it came up saying this is a true story of like based on like her diary and her journals, and I'm like, she's going to kill herself.
No.
That would have
No.
hurt less.
Yeah. Especially when she goes to visit Elizabeth Mitchell's character.
I was just going to say
and she's
that.
like, we could be together later. And I was
We have all the time in the world not knowing that she's dying.
and it was quite depressing too, because I was like started to read up on like Gia, and she's like one of the first like famous women to have AIDS and die from AIDS.
No, you know what got me? She was only 26.
Yes. Mind blowing.
That came up and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, the part that really got me was when Wilhelmina died. Because I really liked their relationship. The first designer or whatever she was that took her under the wing.
Yes,
oh my god. It's a really good movie.
It is.
So sad though. Again, just one of those ones I just felt empty.
Yes. Yeah, it was great. It like just I think I really gave 5 stars for Angelina Jolie. Like easy A, I gave 5 stars for Stanley Tucci, because how do you not just give Stanley Tucci 5 stars? I also found my people on TikTok who appreciate Stanley Tucci and think he's attractive. And I'm like,
yeah.
yes.
Deserved.
Yes. And then the other movie I gave 5 stars was my rewatch movie, which was Clue. And
I'll talk about Clue later if you want to jump on.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
But those are all my highest rated films.
Okay. Best movie.
So
this is different from favorite. This is just like best overall, like as a whole.
Yeah.
Is how I describe it anyway.
Yeah. So I put The Truman Show in this as well. I put I guess I could put Inception in here too. I just kind of forgot about it because I'll talk about this later. I didn't enjoy Inception as much as I thought I would. We just found out.
It's funny though. You loved Inception, or sorry, I loved Inception more than I liked Shutter Island. You liked Shutter Island more than you liked Inception. So we're like opposite on that.
But also, Shutter Island's Martin Scorsese.
No, I just mean like the two Leo mindfuck movies.
Yeah. Okay.
We're completely opposite on our opinions of it.
I watch unintentionally 3 Christopher Nolan films.
That's exhausting.
Shockingly, no, because when I think of Christopher Nolan, I just think of mindfuck.
Yeah.
I did not get mindfucked until I watched The Prestige.
Okay.
And I put that as one of the best.
Was that the one that you said ended on a cliffhanger? Was that Prisoners?
That was Prisoners. I can also put Prisoners as best because
is that
Hugh Jackman?
I was gonna say, is that the Hugh Jackman? Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal, right, too?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal was giving me Zodiac vibes. I don't know if you've seen Zodiac, but he plays I think he plays a journalist in Zodiac, and in this he plays a cop.
Okay.
But it was still like the same thing.
Okay.
I was nervous about The Prestige because it was going really slow. But this is the first Christopher Nolan movie to really mindfuck me. Memento kind of did, because I was like, it was easy to follow, but when you found out what was like at the end, like everything, you're like, oh shit. Trying to understand what was happening in The Prestige hurt my brain.
Nice.
So
that's
much.
how I feel when I watch Inception.
I think just Inception had too much going on.
I think also because I have really messed up dreams that it just got to me on a different level.
Yes, I don't dream that much.
I do.
Well, and I don't really when I do dream, I don't really remember my dreams. I'll remember like bits and pieces like hours later.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try to explain The Prestige to you.
Okay.
So basically, it's Hugh Jackman and Kristen Bale.
They were magicians, both, right?
Yes,
okay.
And they worked together. Hugh Jackman's wife died, and he blames Christian Bale's character for tying the wrong knot, and she couldn't escape in the water tank. So then, they obviously split. So basically, the whole thing is about like I think it's called the transported man or something. Is this like big trick that they're trying to figure out? So Christian Bale is able to do it first, and Hugh Jackman's character can't figure out how. So Hugh Jackman is trying to figure out how he can do it. And there's this guy who's played by David Bowie. I kept watching. I was like, why does this man look so familiar? And I knew David Bowie was in the movie. It didn't register it was him.
Sometimes I forget David Bowie acted.
I know, right?
It just feels like I get it. It's just strange.
It is very strange.
Because I also know he was in Twin Peaks, and that's just
wild.
A weird fact to me.
It is. So, but what happens is they make this like teleportation device, and it's around where like Thomas Edison is like coming up with like electricity and stuff like that. So they're making this teleportation machine, and they don't think it's working, but it winds up it is working. Just this clone is getting moved to a different area, and it's not in the same room. So Hugh Jackman is zapping himself and being cloned and killing himself every night. But the kicker is so when he's getting cloned, he's falling into this water tank underground and like dying. And like the new person is popping up in the back of the theater, and that's the clone. So the first time Hugh Jackman ever does this trick, he died. And each person that performs this every other night is the new clone of him. And then you don't realize this until the end, because Christian Bale character kills Hugh Jackman, and Christian Bale reveals how he did the trick is he has a secret fucking twin. And they've been going back and forth and playing each other. So like they haven't been the same person throughout the entire movie.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And like Christian Bale's character goes to jail because like in the beginning of the movie, they show like Hugh Jackman's character falling into the tank, and Christian Bale's character is like there. And they think that he killed him and like locked him into the water tank. But in reality, it's Christian Bale's twin brother who's in jail, and Christian Bale is out. It's so mindfucking.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Jeez.
Yeah. Inception didn't do that for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that was the entire plot of The Prestige. Sorry if I just completely mindfucked you on that.
A little
as
bit.
You should be.
It's... Was this the one you watched for mindfuck?
That is the one I watched for mindfuck. Okay. It did a good job.
It did.
Inception, I just like I understood what was going on. It was like weird, but I got it. with his wife was like a little confusing. But I can see why this is like such a good Christopher Nolan film, because the effects and everything.
It's
like,
I still am in awe every time I watch the city just fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was insane.
Also, I love Elliot Page.
I didn't know that he was in this.
Yeah. I love him. I think he's
really
amazing in
confused.
this.
He is.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting him to be in it at all.
No.
Like, he popped up and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought his first film was Juno, so that's really funny.
Wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. When was
I don't
Inception?
know. Inception was like 2011. Juno was the 2000s, I believe.
Really?
Juno? Actually, no. Elliot Page has been around for a minute because they have a movie where he's like a kid.
Yes.
It's called Hard Candy. It's fucked. You'd like it. So Hard Candy came out in 2005. Juno came out in 2007. Inception was 2010, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's been acting for a minute. My bad.
Yeah, I didn't know that, to be honest.
I love Juno, though. I rewatched Juno this year, and I love Juno.
It's been a minute since I watched it.
It's so good. I forget how good it is every time.
I didn't realize until like within the past few years that it's like a really good movie. Like, I watched it when it first came out.
I never thought it would be. And then I had to watch it for parenting class, and I adored it.
I love that.
Sorry, did you have anything else to say about it?
No, I think those were my best movies. Oh, I can add, Prisoners was pretty good. It was really slow. But I'm also going to spoil the cliffhanger.
Okay.
So, Hugh Jackman's character, his daughter gets abducted, and along with the family friend's daughter.
Spoiler warning for this episode for all the movies we just spoiled.
Yeah. So the friend's daughter is found, and his daughter is still missing. So Hugh Jackman's character realizes who kidnapped his child, and his daughter always wore this whistle around her neck, and she's supposed to blow it in case of an emergency. So, when he realized who kidnapped his child, she drugs him and makes him go into a hole underground in like their driveway that's covered by the car. And he finds the whistle that his daughter left there. The woman winds up moving the daughter, and Jake Gyllenhaal's character winds up finding both of them and rescuing her, but they don't know where Hugh Jackman is. So they spend so long trying to dig through like the house and like around the house, trying to figure out where they hid more bodies, because this woman's been doing this for like years. And they decided to take a break because it's winter and the ground's starting to freeze. And you just hear a faint whistle in the background. And Jake Gyllenhaal just keeps looking around. He's like, where is this coming from? And you don't know if they found him or not.
This movie sucks.
Yep.
Jesus. Good Lord.
Yep.
So funnily enough, both my best movies are Robin Williams.
Aw.
I know. I cannot put into words how much I love that man. I did bump up Good Will Hunting to 5 officially. I am bumping it up. So I have 3. I don't know why I didn't give it 5. There must have just been something that was throwing me a little bit. I don't know what it. I remember I didn't like the love interest.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you want to know one of the reasons why I didn't love her?
Oh God, why?
Okay, so do you remember Will and Grace?
Yeah.
Do you remember Will and Grace when Karen married that old guy? And he had a daughter?
think of the fucking woman's name.
I can't remember her name either.
Hold on, we're gonna just do a whole walkthrough. Karen Walker.
I can't remember her husband's name either. It's not Rupert. I'm
Stan.
thinking no, her other husband, the one she marries later on.
Lyle.
I think so. Is he old?
He's like old, but not like old.
Oh, but then the daughter ends up marrying Stan as well. And that's how Karen meets her dad.
Oh, wait. Oh, the British one?
The British one.
I know who you're talking about.
She's the love interest. So every
Lord.
time she was on screen, all I could picture was her fighting with Karen. And when they fall off like the boat in that one episode, like it's just, that's all that was playing in my mind. And I can't take her serious. I can't think of her name in the show, but her name in real life is Minnie Driver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you said Minnie Driver, I would have known.
Sorry.
Okay.
But anyway, that's who I had to give you like the full thing just so I could be like, hey, listen.
Finster.
Lorraine Finster. That's all I could picture her of. And so, okay, that's why I gave this movie 4.5 stars.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I just didn't think they had much chemistry and I just didn't care for them. But it does end up being important to the end of the plot. So I guess they needed to have it. But yeah, anyway, all that to say, Good Will Hunting is amazing. Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't. Oh, wait. Okay. I always forget Good Will Hunting and Dead Poet Society mixed up. Why? It's not the same thing.
No, but they're both like Robin Williams in a school.
Is Matt Damon in Dead Poet Society or am I making that up?
No, but it's just a bunch of like young, like handsome, like Damon guys.
Okay.
So Good Will Hunting is what is like so Matt Damon plays a janitor at like a very prestigious college or whatever. And Stellan Skarsgård, who I did not remember so I've actually seen this before. I didn't remember a thing about it because I watched it far too young to actually care. Okay. So I didn't really remember anything about this. So Stellan Skarsgård is in this and he's the math professor and he writes a really hard formula on the board and says if anyone can solve it, whatever, like you'll get extra credit, whatever. I want it solved by the end of the semester. Matt Damon solves it in one night. So then Stellan is looking all over. He's spent years trying to prove this formula. So then he's looking for this guy and then he finds out that it's Matt Damon and he takes him under his wing, like tries to get it. But like Matt doesn't want to like have anything to do with it. Like he's dealing with some struggle. So that's where Rob Williams comes in and he's a therapist.
Sorry. The fact that Rob Williams plays a therapist and Mrs. Doubtfire is just amazing and really throwing me off.
Yeah, it's fine because I agree. But so actually there's like, I'm just gonna gush about Robin Williams. There's a whole scene where he just like, apparently it's ad-libbed. He just like makes up like this whole thing about a baseball game and he's just going off. And then he's like, anyway, I went on a date instead. And it's just like a moment and you're like, oh my God, this man is amazing. Anyway, not the point. But so Matt Damon was, I don't want to spoil it for you if you do watch this, but like there's some emotional stuff. And anyway, at one point, Robin Williams says, it's not your fault. And he just says it repeatedly. There's a review that says, I hope there was a point in time where someone told Robin Williams that it is not his fault.
Oh, why the fuck would you say this?
And every time I think about it, it actually breaks my soul because like, yeah. But really such an amazing movie. And it just like makes me feel really stupid. But like, it's like sad, but like in a hopeful way. Like it's like a happy kind of sad. Like you're like sad at one point and then like the ending kind of leaves you like a bittersweet kind of just like emotional.
Okay.
And it honestly baffles me that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote this. Like they look like they share one brain cell.
I don't know if you saw this TikTok that I just sent you today about Air.
Yes.
Who knew that they could be such a good duo?
Right? Right? But yeah. Also, this movie's actually really funny.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's not just depressing.
No, it's actually not depressing. It's just like it has like this like under Robin Williams is a therapist. Like there's gonna be some kind of emotional trauma.
Oh yeah.
But then the other one I have for best movie overall is Dead Poet Society. I gave this one 4 stars because it had times where it kind of lost me, but like overall it was really, really good.
Okay.
Just like some of the characters, like whatever. Have you seen that 70s show?
No, I haven't.
Do you know the parents though? Or like relatively? Because like the dad from that 70s show is the dad in this, and it really threw me off the entire time.
The one that's married to Phoebe's brothers, like the mom and like his husband. Okay, yes, I do know what they look like.
Yes. But anyway, so this one, he's an English teacher. Robin Williams is an English teacher who comes to teach a boys' private school or whatever. But he has unconventional ways of teaching the boys poetry. And so like he just like actually wants to like inspire them and like make an actual difference in their life. And then they find out that he instigated the Dead Poet Society when he was in that school. And so these boys find like a new love for poetry, and like they join the Dead Poet Society and they meet like every night to like read poetry to each other. And then the one boy wants to become an actor, but his dad wants him to become a doctor. And it's just like a bunch of like these like struggles of their lives.
Yeah.
But like basically it's just Robin Williams being wholesome for like 128 minutes. And it's just, yeah. There was just at one point, it got like a little dark. And then something started happening. Like the character did one thing and I'm like, we're going this way. Fuck, we are going this way. And I was not happy the rest of the movie. It has a baby Ethan Hawke though.
I did.
And he's so cute.
I did.
But then they go, they do the "Oh Captain, My Captain" scene, and I died a little inside.
And now you need to watch In and Out. So you can see which one is better.
But then they do the "Oh Captain, My Captain." Robin Williams just goes, "Thank you, boys." And just end. And I'm like, that's all I get.
Yeah.
But it was really good. It made me sad, but made me want a hug from Robin Williams because I feel like it would solve all my problems.
I probably would, to be honest.
Anyway, those are my best overall.
Okay.
What is one that you surprisingly liked?
Okay. So how do I explain this one? So I didn't want to like this movie. It's directed by Olivia Wilde, and we're Team Jason Sudeikis on the channel.
Women for Jason Sudeikis.
And everyone was shitting on this movie.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't that bad. And okay.
The plot twist got spoiled for me, so I haven't watched it yet.
The plot twist was never spoiled for me, so I was shook if. And what movie were you Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
As well as mine. When you were talking about like them like doing the thing, that reminded me of this.
Okay.
Because like you see her like under and like they figure that shit out on how to get her. So like you know how she's in this world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, vaguely, but yeah.
I was not expecting that. Florence Pugh, amazing job.
She's great.
She's adorable. I literally my review for this movie, and it was so funny when I told Izzy when I watched this, because I'm pretty sure she told me to let her know when I did watch this. And I was like already like figuring out what my Letterboxd review was, and she goes, "It's literally the Stepford's Wives." And I was like, Izzy, I am dead ass serious right now. I'm writing my Letterboxd review and it says Stepford's Wives, the psychological thriller version.
Yeah.
Because it dead ass is.
Okay. I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's and
it sucks
also,
because it got spoiled for me, but like
yeah.
yeah.
It
And that was
also
one of my
might
most
be
anticipated of the year.
yeah.
But TikTok.
I just keep scrolling when I know I want to
Yeah.
watch something.
But some of them I didn't even realize were about Don't Worry, Darling. And then I would read it because it was just like a person in text. And then I'm like, oh, what does the text say? And then it would
Yeah.
just be like, spoil the entire movie. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's
okay.
annoying. I think it also helps that I love the time period.
Yeah. What
I
is
was
it, the
also,
50s?
I think it's 50s, 60s.
Okay. Her name is Alice. Like Alice Cooper.
Yes, it is. But yeah, I don't understand why people kept shitting on this movie. I really didn't think it was that bad.
They shit more on Harry Styles, I think.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm not watching the movie for Harry Styles. I was
That's
watching
fair.
for Florence. Especially because like Harry is barely he's not in it that much. I think the biggest plot twist, and I think Izzy can agree with me on this, was Olivia Wilde's character knowingly know that what was going on and being perfectly okay with it.
I didn't know that. Jesus.
So I won't spoil any more of it for
Okay.
you. But yeah, that I was not expecting. So like when she was like telling Alice that she needs to get out, and Alice is like, so do you, and she's like, no, like I know what's going on. I want to be here. I was like, wait, what, bitch? You knew the entire time?
Why
And
do you
you're
want to be
willingly still
there?
here? Well, that would require me spoil more of the
Okay.
movie. And once you watch it, we can discuss on that because Izzy wasn't
Okay.
sure either.
Okay. Interesting.
She might have just missed that part, which is fair. It wasn't like a big thing, but I
Okay.
was like, questioning.
I'm intrigued.
Yes, I think that was my only movie for the surprising.
I
Or
only
one
have
that was
one.
okay.
Yeah. Mine was Taxi Driver. So I actually have wanted to watch this just because like it's such a big movie. But again, it was one of those ones I kind of put on in the background because it was just like one like I didn't really like know if I was going to love, but like just like one I kind of wanted to see. I loved it. It's maybe one of the best movies I've seen. It's really, really
Okay.
good. It's really good. Um, I can see why it's problematic. Jodie Foster plays a 12-year-old prostitute.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's her selling point for the one guy in this, and it's just disgusting. It's so gross. But then, oh my God, who is it's De Niro, right? Yes, it's De Niro. But then De Niro takes like saying he takes a liking to her is a weird way of saying that because I don't mean it in that way. He like kind of just like he's a taxi driver. He sees her on the streets one night and he's like, okay, this girl is way too young. I have to like help her. So then he like tracks down every single person who has like wronged her and like is determined to get her back to her family and on like a right path. So it's like nasty, but like in a way it sort of becomes wholesome and pure, even though it isn't. But like it works. But like it's really good. I have a long review for this one, so I won't like read it much. But yeah, it is one that you want to go in like knowing the Jodie Foster stuff because like it's jarring if you don't.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of tone changes, which I like. Like it starts like kind of like a drama romance film. Like he's like this down on his luck guy who falls for a girl. It doesn't work kind of thing. And then it becomes he's like tortured and lonely and just an anti-hero. And then it's a full-blown action movie. So like it's like interesting. But like honestly, I never noticed the score in movies. This has an amazing score.
Yeah, everyone always talks about music movies, and I'm so bad at paying attention.
Yeah, like I'll notice it if it's like actual songs, but like if it's just like an instrumental, I don't like pay attention that much, admittedly. This one is just like I don't know, so good. And I don't even know like what it entirely was about it. I just really liked it.
That's fair.
it's eerie and cheery and everything in between, and I liked it.
Okay.
Did I like the cinematography on this? I feel like I like the cinematography on this too, but whatever.
Okay.
I just really liked it. This is also the one where he goes, hang on, is this the right one? Yeah, he's like, you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Like that scene.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was Scarface or what it was. It's not Scarface. Scarface is a different quote. Is the say hello to my little friend. Yeah. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino just feel like the same person in different fonts to me.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Anyway, this is also Scorsese.
Yes.
So. And for the 70s, it looks really good still.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a film bro. I watched a lot of film bro movies.
You did.
Maybe film bros have decent taste. I won't admit it. What is one you didn't care about but ended up enjoying a lot?
So I just needed to find something that had a state in the title or a place in the title. So I decided to watch The Florida Project. I loved it, which was really shocking. I think it was just like such like a pure movie because it's in the eyes of a kid on their summer vacation.
Yeah.
But so the kid's mom, I don't know if this is her actual mom. I don't remember. But what was I gonna say? So her mom is kind of like struggling on making money, but like you see that, but like obviously through her eyes, they're living in a motel and she thinks it's like the most amazing thing ever. And she makes friends with the motel and she's like showing like the new girl like all this fun stuff that there is to do at the hotel, like spying on the lady that stands topless at the motel pool and like playing with the fan and like in the lobby. So it's cute and wholesome and to the point where her mom decides to become a prostitute and she leaves her child in the bathroom while she sleeps with men and CPS finds out and they want to take her away. So the little girl runs to the other motel to say goodbye to her friend and then they run off to Disney World together.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Yeah. And it's called the Florida Project because that's what Disney World was called. Well, it was being built.
Okay.
But it's like so, like it throws you off because the colors for this movie is incredible.
Yeah.
But that little girl, I don't know where she went. She needs to come back to acting because she was so cute and adorable and she was so good.
Heart is broken. It's fine.
I know, she was like hustling people to get money for ice cream. And I was like, girl, you're a businesswoman. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, she lit a house on fire.
A little pyro, go off.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Also, I have
Was
to
this
read
Oscar nominated?
I don't know if it was Oscar
I
nominated.
could have sworn it got like something in the award circuit.
Let's check. But I also have to find. Oh yeah, Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, which was William Dafoe. And I'm going to read the quote that describes this William Dafoe in this movie perfectly. If I can find it. This is the first time Willem Dafoe has not looked like the human embodiment of evil. He was truly William Defriend.
I did read that one.
I was like, yep. So like he's the manager of the hotel.
Willem Dafoe's a weird looking dude.
He's scary. 100%. But he's trying to tame the kids because clearly their parents are not looking after them, but he also like wants the best for them, and he's trying to help like the mom out, but like obviously you can only help her so much.
Yeah.
My review for this movie was, I too run away to Disney when life gets tough.
I don't blame you. Ugh. Well, that's depressing.
Yeah, no, it was definitely depressing. It was A24. What else would you expect?
That's fair. That's fair. Mine. Okay. I chose Donnie Darko for this one because I had this on my watch list like a year or two ago. Found out it's like about the end of the world kind of thing, and that kind of stuff freaks me out. Like gives me anxiety. I don't like those kind of movies. So I took it off my list. But then I kept thinking about it and like coming back to it. And I'm like, hey, but I've heard it's a mind fuck and it's really good. So I put it back on my list and I'm like, maybe one day I will watch it.
Okay.
So I put it on here and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. I feel like it's gonna make me uncomfy, whatever. I really liked it.
Okay.
It was not as bad as I was like expecting. It wasn't like that. Because that is like something that like gives me anxiety, like that kind of stuff, or just like doomsday stuff in general. So it's very nervous, but like it's really good. And it had Patrick Swayze. Granted, he ends up being, what is it? He ends up owning some not age appropriate videotapes. So I couldn't even like him.
Darn it.
I know, right? And I did not know he was in this. So when he showed up, I'm like, Swayze.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, man. But so it's like, so the movie, the plot says, after narrowly escaping a bizarre accident, a troubled teenager is plagued by visions of a large bunny rabbit that manipulates him to commit a series of crimes. So one night, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. He's laying in his bed, he's sleeping, and a piece of like a plane or something like that falls out of the sky and directly into his bedroom. But he's not in his bed or whatever it is. He doesn't get hit by it, basically.
Okay.
But so then that kind of like sets a whole thing where he's approached by this bunny named Frank, who tells him that the world will end in 28 days, 7 hours, 12 minutes, 32 seconds kind of thing. Like gives him a whole rundown. And just like gets him to like commit crimes, like gets him to deface the school, like do all this weird stuff. And so then I don't even know. It's just a fucked up movie. Like it's one of those things I again looked up the ending to. Because I didn't understand. But like in the end, he has to, in order to save the world and like his family and everything, he has to die. Like it's like a whole thing about fate. So he's like, so whatever this plane piece was ended up setting them in an alternate universe. So when that universe closes, it's gonna end the one he originally came from. So he has to kill himself in this one to keep the other one going. It's a lot. And I wasn't, it's weird. I wasn't expecting to be sad about it either, but he ends up getting a love interest in it. And then she dies. And so that's kind of what makes him go and end it. But in the very ending, she passes by his house and just kind of like waves at his mom because they have like still this connection, even though she never actually ended up meeting him in this time. It's so weird. It's really, it's good. It's just a lot.
Giving E.T., but like crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god, also Ashley Tisdale was in this.
I'm sorry, what?
Like a baby Ashley Tisdale. It was wild.
That is very odd and wild.
It did. It took me about like halfway through to really get into it.
Okay.
Oh my god, there's a plot twist. Frank the Bunny Rabbit is, I don't know, he's some student that Jake Gyllenhaal went to school with who died, and like he's haunting him or something like that. It's weird. weird. I think you should watch it because I don't know how to explain.
I might need to.
It's wild. Yeah, and then the quote is, "What if you could go back in time and take all those hours of pain and darkness and replace them with something better?" Jake Gyllenhaal is ultimate sad boy. So, very good.
Okay.
Good movie. Anyway, what movies disappointed you?
So we're gonna go back to Christopher Nolan.
Oh no.
So I think my brother was the one that told me to watch Insomnia because he said it was gonna be good.
Is this Robin Williams?
Yeah, it really wasn't. Don't get me wrong, Robin Williams was phenomenal. He can do any genre. But so the premise of this movie is Robin Williams is wind up murdering this woman, and Al Pacino's character comes and
Robin Williams is a murderer?
Right?
That's so sad.
My review is Robin Williams can really do any genre.
Yeah.
So Al Pacino's character comes and he's got some this takes place in Alaska, but he comes from California and he's got some issues going on in California and whatever. And he goes up to help solve this murder. And basically he just has a hard time sleeping while he's there, especially because it's in Alaska and it never fully gets dark. So I don't think he sleeps the entire time he's there. But it's not like really like a mystery because it's revealed halfway through the movie that Robin Williams is killed the girl. But I think he's trying to fuck around with Al Pacino. But like they also like meet up and like talk, and like Al Pacino knows that like he killed these people. I don't know. I just don't really care for it.
Yeah.
And like once again, for a Christopher Nolan film, I want to be fucking mind fucked, and I was not
fair.
mind fucked. I literally started an entire list ranking Christopher Nolan films.
Nice. I want to watch. I want to watch Tenet.
What's that?
Tenet is about time travel.
Okay, we're gonna add that one to the list. So I have to watch.
Can we both watch that so we can discuss it?
We can. Where is this? So I want to watch Interstellar because I know that's Macy's favorite movie, and that's also Christopher Nolan.
I can't.
And then I also have an unintentional Christopher Nolan movie that I didn't know. Michael Douglas stars in it, but it does seem really mindfucky, so I think I do want to watch it.
What is it?
It's called The Game.
I don't know it.
Oh my god, no, it's not.
Wait. No, I think I have this on my list.
Wait, why can't I find it? Okay, maybe I lied.
It's David Fincher.
The Imitation Game?
Oh, no, it's just The Game.
Wait, hold on, I gotta find it.
This one has Michael Douglas in it.
Okay, you're right, no. Okay, yeah, it's David Fincher. Why? Oh, because I want to watch Gone Girl.
David Fincher did Gone Girl, Seven, Zodiac, and Fight Club. And The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
I've seen parts of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, but I've seen Gone Girl, Seven, and Zodiac.
Yeah, I think he's another one that's kind of mindfucky.
Yeah, so I want to watch that. What was the other Christopher Nolan one I want to watch? Okay, maybe it was just Interstellar. But yeah, so I literally have 4 movies ranked for Christopher Nolan. I swear I had 5.
Jeez.
And Insomnia is at the bottom.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Insomnia, what's the rank? It's a 3.5. I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Like, it was good, but I just didn't care for it.
That's fair.
Okay, this is true, though. Oh my god, I will say the one thing. Robin Williams lives in a cabin. It is the most stunning. It's like nothing special, but like the atmosphere of this cabin and just the scenery, beautiful. I'm gonna find a photo. I'm gonna send it to you, and it made me want to move to Alaska. And you know how much I hate the cold.
It's true. Please do. Like,
I will.
send me the picture. Don't move to Alaska.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was stunning.
Okay. I have 3. Because of course I do. Again, like I said, I had some disappointing ones. So the first one that disappointed me, and I feel bad saying it, it was Brokeback Mountain. And I really wanted to like Brokeback Mountain, and I didn't. Okay, sorry. I gave it 3.5. It was just boring.
Okay.
Like,
The gay cowboys weren't gay cowboying enough.
they were.
Okay.
It also like, so it goes throughout their lives, but it doesn't give you any indication of what time period it is. So by the end of the movie, Heath Ledger has 2 grown children and the daughter is getting married.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't even have a girlfriend
like...
he doesn't even have a girlfriend in the beginning of the movie. So like, it's just a lot of how we got there.
Okay.
And it's over 2 hours, so it's like a long movie too.
Okay.
And it's like, it's very pretty. It's very like really nicely done. Like, they're on like a shepherding job in the mountains, Brokeback Mountain.
Okay.
So like, it's pretty. But like, I don't know. I was just kind of bored.
If you want to watch another gay movie that involves a mountain, it's a Christina Ricci movie. And I think I sent this to you before and I told you to watch it. I gotta find it again.
Okay,
it's
please
actually...
do.
I'll search for it and I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. Do I... Oh, do you have any interest in watching this?
What?
Brokeback Mountain?
Not
like
really.
If I were to spoil it, it wouldn't.
Nah, just spoil it. It's fine.
So Jake Gyllenhaal dies.
Okay, I had a feling one of them was gonna die.
Yeah. So I knew that I couldn't remember if it was Heath or if it was Jake, but I knew one of them died. And that was the one time I was like actually interested in the movie, because that's when like things were actually happening. So he ends up being, so like earlier in the movie, Heath says that he cannot be with so his name is wait, which one's Ennis? Which one's Heath is Ennis, Jake is Jack. So Ennis tells Jack that the reason he can't be with him in public or like even be near him in public is because when he was a kid, his dad brought him to see a man who was gay who had been beaten to death and kind of like scared it into him. Jack dies because he's a gay man and gets beaten to death in like almost the exact same way that Ennis described seeing this other guy. So then he goes to Jack's house, meets his parents, and like offers to go and spread Jack's ashes on Brokeback Mountain for him. And like he like goes into Jack's closet and pulls out his denim shirt and like hugs it and cries. It's the last 20 minutes are really, really, really good. And it's super depressing, but like, ugh. It was just really slow. It wasn't even like it was boring per se. It was just really slow. And I had this on in the background. It is a really good love story, I will say. But like, also, this is the movie where Heath Ledger and Michelle Williams met, which I think is cute. Because then they got married. And they had a baby.
Did I know that?
I don't know. I guess not.
I guess not. Oh, that's really cute, but really sad.
Yeah. Okay, what is my other one? Eyes Wide Shut. I was so disappointed by this one, and I was so looking forward to this one. So this one is the one I told you is the BDSM movie.
Yeah.
Where like he becomes BDSMing. This moment.
Okay.
So at a party, Nicole Kidman's character is talking to a guy who like is hitting on her, but she's like, no, like I'm married. But so then she like accuses Tom Cruise's character of like potentially cheating with these 2 young women. like
Okay.
young pretty ladies. And he's like, no, but like I could have, but I didn't. And he's like, I wouldn't do that. Like I'm a happily married man. I don't think about that. And she's like, oh, I thought about it when that guy was hitting on me. She's like, I wondered what it would be like to cheat on you. And like all that. That sets him off. So then he seeks out to possibly have an affair. But then he ends up in this like underground deviant sexual nightmare pretty much.
Okay.
The reason it was disappointing is because people told me this was fucked up. They're like, this is a horror movie, this is fucked up. It was not that bad.
Darn it.
Like I was expecting, like even what is the theme on Letterboxd says sex, sexual relationships, erotic, like all that, and then right below it says horror, creepy, eerie, blood, or gothic. Just like all this stuff, you know?
Yeah, so
It just
you're
wasn't.
expecting it.
And I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be kind of like mind fucky, and it wasn't. It just it I felt like there's a lot of like big stuff promised or like
Okay.
hinted at or where you think it's gonna go, and it's just not.
That's a shame.
There is like a full, like it's probably like 10 minutes long of just going around this giant mansion where people are just having sex all over the place in like the weirdest, creepiest ways in
Oh, so it's a
mass.
sex party.
Yeah, but it was fucked. And it was just odd. But like it
Okay.
wasn't. I think I also just because Nicole Kidman's character is kind of the whole reason that this even happens, like the whole reason he decides to do this. She was like barely in it.
Oh,
And she was so much more interesting.
I can imagine.
But one of the reviews, so this is from Stanley Kubrick, and he's dead now. He did The Shining though.
Okay.
But someone said the last word and the last thing Kubrick ever directed is fuck.
Oh my God.
That is the last line, and I think that's really funny and very fitting. And I like that. My only other one I have for disappointment though, this was the one I was most looking forward to. It's My Own Private Idaho. I've
Oh,
wanted to watch this movie for a while. It's Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix? Yes, River.
Yes.
I was so let down. And okay, so I think what kind of got me was that it's a Shakespeare adaptation, like a loose one.
Of
I
which
don't
one?
Henry IV. Is that 6? No. What is IV? I don't know.
Said Ivy.
No.
No, it's 4.
Thank you. I do not know my Roman numerals. Henry the
Oh,
Fourth.
girl, it's really not that hard. If the I becomes
I never
before
learned-
the V, it's one before.
We never learned it in school. So
Neither did I.
oh, well, I just never cared to learn, sorry. Anyway, it's a loose adaptation of Shakespeare's Henry the Fourth. River plays a gay hustler with narcolepsy, so he just falls asleep anywhere and everywhere. And then Keanu Reeves is also a prostitute or whatever. And so they go from Portland, Oregon to Idaho and then to Italy to find River Phoenix's mom. But like they're like turning tricks to like make their way and all that. So like it has like a really good premise.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can deal, like I'm not a big Shakespeare fan, but like usually when it's an adaptation, like it's something like 10 Things I Hate About You or She's the Man, like things like that. Keanu Reeves has a stupid Shakespearean accent. None of his lines make sense. I had no idea what he was saying, and he's the only one.
That's pretty stupid.
So it took me out of it so much, and then I just couldn't really get into it because I didn't know what he was saying because I had to watch it with subtitles for that reason, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about because I've never grasped Shakespeare. I'm sorry.
Neither have I.
So like that disappointed me. However, there was one scene, and it was actually written by River, which I think is amazing. Rest in peace. So he's in love with Keanu's character. Like he's in love with Keanu's character, but Keanu isn't he isn't
Yeah.
gay. Um and so like River like wants to like I keep calling him River. His name is Mike in this movie. But so like, he wants to have like he wants to be with him. And Keanu's character is like, I'm only gay for money. And then he's like, well, I don't know. Or this is River. He's like, well, I don't know. I mean, for me, I could love someone even if I, wasn't paid for it. I love you and you don't pay me. And it just really hurts. And it's really sad. And it's just like him giving this whole monologue about how much he loves Keanu Reeves' character. And it's really, really sad.
That is
And they do
quite
not
sad,
end up
actually.
together in the end, which is very disappointing.
Bruh.
Right?
If two people have chemistry, they have to end up together.
Right?
Sorry.
So one of the reviews is therapist. And what do we do when we're feeling sad? Me. Play the campfire scene in my own private Idaho on repeat till fucking death comes. Therapist. No.
Love that.
Yeah. I'm disappointed. Although at the end of the movie, it ends with him passing out on the street because he has narcolepsy and he gets robbed. Like his boots get stolen, everything. But then another car comes and picks him up out of the street, puts him in the car, and everybody believes it's Keanu Reeves' character because he does that a few times throughout the movie. But we never know. So
Bro, fuck
I know.
Warriors.
I gave it 3.5. Like it's not a bad movie. It's just
Okay.
I think the Shakespearean accent on only Keanu Reeves threw me.
Yeah, no, that definitely would throw me off. Also I found the Christina Ricci movie. It's called Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain. And she stars opposite of the girl that's from in My Girl.
That's odd.
And literally the first review says so wholesome and gay. So
What is it called?
Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain. It's a really quick watch. It's only an hour and a half.
There it is. Oh my
It's
god,
like-
it's a baby Christina Ricci.
Yeah, it's like a kiddie movie, but like it's gay.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Movie that may need a rewatch in the future. Like maybe you didn't appreciate it enough this time.
Okay. Sorry, I was
You're good.
watching it. So Michelle Gomez is currently on SVU, and she's looking very milfy, and the fact that her and Liv haven't kissed yet is a crime. But I'll tell you about what the premise of this episode is later.
Okay.
Okay, this one is I put terms of endearment because I thought this was going to be way more depressing than what it was. I don't know if it's because I watched Steel Magnolias first and I thought Steel Magnolias was way more depressing. I also had no idea what was happening in Steel Magnolias. So I don't know if that also turned to the fact why I didn't think Terms of Endearment was sad, because I kind of knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
You see now though why I was like, why is this Mariska's favorite movie?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own. I also just have this weird thing for Jack Nicholson in romantic roles.
That's fair.
I don't get it. Because Jack Nicholson he's not like a looker.
No.
He's not like attractive, and his characters aren't really like sensitive. They're very like cocky characters.
Okay, but you know what? I watched a TikTok yesterday, I believe, of when Jennifer Lawrence met him at the Oscars. And
okay.
I don't know, there was just something about him, and I'm like,
right, there is something.
It's just like magnetic almost. Like there's just something.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
And I literally just watched a rom-com yesterday of Meryl Streep and him didn't know this existed. And he like kind of melted my heart, but then he also cheated on her. And I was like, how do you cheat on Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
But then like he also made me like sad. Anyway, besides the point, what was I talking? Jack, terms of endearment.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just maybe if when I'm older, I'll appreciate it a little bit more.
This one was hyped up to me a lot by an old coworker who told me this is like one of the saddest movies she's ever seen. She's also like in her 40s and a mom, and so like I feel like it does have to have that perspective, maybe.
Yes, definitely.
Then again, stepmom makes me violently sob.
Yeah.
I am not a stepmom. I am not best friends with Susan Sarandon.
It felt very choppy as well. Because it goes from
I find that with some older movies, which is a shame.
Yeah, they're trying to get a lot of years into like one movie, and like they do a lot of skips.
Yeah.
And like the woman that's playing the daughter looks the same age throughout the entire freaking movie. So like, how am I supposed to really differentiate?
Yeah.
Also, the male cast was not that good. It was Jack Nicholson, which we just discussed. He's okay. Then it was Jeff Daniels and John Lithgow. Is that his last name?
Yeah.
And she chooses, the daughter's married to Jeff Daniels and then has an affair with John.
Like Pretty Women going for him,
right?
Because Machen has that movie with him where she's married to him.
Yeah. He's not it.
No.
And Jeff Daniels isn't even that it.
No. Isn't he the guy from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Mockingbird sing. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, I didn't. I feel like so my dad recommended this movie. He said it was sad. Like my mom said that this was the first date to the movies that they ever went on. I don't know why.
What a depressing start to your relationship. Okay.
I know. So I told him, I was like, watch Steel Magnolias. It's the same thing.
And it's got Dolly Parton and Sally Field.
Yeah, and I feel like that one's a little more lively. Yeah.
I had to watch a scene for it today for reasons that I can't share with you.
Okay.
It's for an article.
I figured that.
Yeah. But even like watching it, I'm like, it was like a depressing scene too, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I kind of like thinking about it now, like it looks bright and happy, and
yeah,
it's not. It probably would make the list that I have that's called movies that look happy and shiny but actually make me violently upset.
Especially because the movie poster looks so fucking happy.
It does. Why couldn't it just be?
It's not.
No.
Yeah, I think I loved Shirley MacLaine's character. I thought she was great. I also think Shirley MacLaine might become my new obsession soon. I think I would just want to watch everything she's in.
What do I know her for? I know Shirley MacLaine. Like
she's in Bewitched, if you've ever seen Bewitched.
I have not.
I
might just know her because she's Shirley
MacLaine. That's fair. Yeah. And then I think I said before that Inception was on. Oh, I might have to rewatch later. I'm also putting. Oh no, what was Inception?
Is this why you watch Postcards from the Edge?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Also for Meryl.
Yeah.
I said Inception. Oh, one that was a disappointment. I meant to say Inception should be in a movie that might need a future rewatch.
Got you.
Because I tried to watch this on the plane and then I fell asleep.
It's kind of a fun movie to watch with people, especially if it's someone who's never seen it before.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just get to share those reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was also really just too mind fucked by it that I started reading what was happening.
Yeah. You just gotta
But,
kind of let yourself be immersed by it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my 2.
I have 2. So I'll start with Scarface because, like, I don't know. It was one, I guess I kind of was disappointed by it, but after watching The Godfather, I kind of knew Scarface was like in a similar vein as in it's like a mafia movie.
Okay.
So like I kind of knew going into it, I'm like, like The Godfather, I gave it 4 stars because it's The Godfather. And like
Yeah.
I watched it, I didn't love it, but like I could see the appreciation for it, and like I could tell that it was a genuinely good movie. It's just not my style.
Yeah.
So going into Scarface, I wanted to watch it purely for Michelle Pfeiffer to begin with. She was not in it enough. Like kind of really at all. When she's in it, she steals the scene. I wanted to watch it for Michelle Pfeiffer. She's great. Her character's name is Elvira, which I really liked. Her entrance scene is amazing. It's just her in a glass elevator, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I'm realizing the mafia, like, as a concept, is intriguing. Like, it sounds like it would make a very good movie, and clearly it does. It just doesn't work for me. Like, maybe in books I would like it more, but like in movies, it's just a lot of guys just sitting around talking. Like, pretty much all of The Godfather was just a lot of meetings, but I think The Godfather definitely did it better than Scarface because you actually kind of grow attached more to the people in The Godfather. And like, even though they're like bad, there's still like something human about them. There's nothing human about Al Pacino's character in Scarface. Funnily enough, he's in The Godfather though too, and he's likable-ish in that. But like, yeah, I don't know. I do like Brian De Palma though. He did Carrie, and I love Carrie. I think Carrie is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen, like visually. The cinematography on this is very good. However, it's not that great. The last half hour is really good when like he actually like is doing the say hello to my little friend thing.
Yeah.
And is like all that, but it's so long. And it felt way longer than it actually was. However, I love horror movies, all that. There is a scene in this where a guy is chained to a shower, like a shower rod, and then Al Pacino's character is chained across from him. And because they won't give up information, they just chainsaw this guy's limbs off. You don't even see it, you just hear it and like see the blood splatter, but like it just scarred me. And it made me so uncomfortable and I wanted to turn it off. But it was only like 15 minutes in, so I couldn't. Anyway, maybe I'll watch it again when I like feel I could.
I feel like you have to watch a few movies as like a middle-aged person.
Yeah. I originally wanted to watch this with my dad, but like it's so long. There was just never time when he like actually works.
Yeah.
So like I just ended up watching it, and like I just feel like maybe it would be more fun with other people. The other one I had though was Flute, which yes, I am saying that right because that's the character's name. Where is my list of you? Apologies. This is my Jane Fonda movie. I'm gonna read you the description of this because it sounds really good. A high-priced call girl is forced to depend on a reluctant private eye when she is stalked by a psychopath. And it's 70s Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is great every day, but like young Jane Fonda was stunning. Still is. She's a hot lady.
She is.
But like, I don't know, there's just something about her. I did not love this. And it was fine. I did even say, I'm like, I'll have to rewatch this and pay like more attention. But I think I had too high expectations of it.
Okay.
Like, Jane Fonda's great because she's Jane Fonda and she's amazing in everything. But like the first act was really good. The second act just like really fell flat, which is never really the case. And I also just found like a lot of like the big moments was just like it was shot really weird. So like it would just be like focusing on one like singular shot for like 5 minutes as a phone call is playing in the background. And it was just like it was just a weird kind of choppy feeling in a
Okay.
way. And I don't know. The concept is really good, and like I said, I probably should just rewatch it when I like actually pay attention to it, but like
Mm-hmm.
it was meh. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
A review I liked though was the way Jane Fonda's gonna live to be 110 and still be sexier than all of us.
So true.
Like true.
So true.
Now we get to discuss the ones that we recommended each other.
Yay.
I actually haven't seen the one I recommended you, so
I wouldn't.
it was recommended to me, and then I recommended it to you because it sounded more up your alley.
Yes. I didn't love it though.
That's okay.
So so you recommended Dead Again. I'm gonna read the premise of it.
I saw Emma Thompson in like a crime plot, and I'm like, Alexie.
Yes. Yes. And okay, so it's a little interesting. So it says in 1949, composer Roman Strauss is executed for the murder of his wife. In 1990s Los Angeles, a detective comes across a mute amnesiac. Thank you. I just forgot how to pronounce words. Woman who is somehow linked to the Strauss murder. Okay. So this movie has two separate timelines, and Emma Thompson is in both. So I guess I mean, if you believe in reincarnation, Emma Thompson's character in 1940s dies, and I believe that she's reincarnated into the one in the 1990s. Because it's like she plays the same person. So like everyone in the movie plays someone in the 1940s as well as the 1990s.
Okay.
So the 1940s is in black and white, the 1990s is in color. So she's having visions of dying because her character dies and she can't remember who killed her. And the detective is trying to help her figure out who killed her. So this is how I rate these mystery thrillers, is if I could start figuring out what happens, it's getting a low rating. If I can't figure out what's happening and I am utterly shocked by the end, it's getting an amazing rating. I started realizing what was happening and who really killed her. So it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it took me halfway through the movie to realize. It just... There's just something about it that I wanted more from as well.
Yeah.
The reoccurring thing in this movie is scissors, and that's how her character dies in the 1940s. She gets stabbed to death by scissors. So my review for this movie was I was learned to never run around scissors, because that's how the guy dies in the 1990s, is he's literally running around scissors and falls on a pair of scissors.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah. So it turns out
what you get for killing Emma Thompson.
So true. So what happens is they think that the composer killed her, but the composer had like a house worker who had a son, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is that the composer and house worker were supposed to run away together or something along those lines, or to provide a better life for her, and he didn't do that, so the son killed Emma Thompson. And then in the 1990s, they go to this antique shop that's run by a son and his older mother, and the son is the killer. Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
You don't I didn't realize who the son was in the 1940s. Like in the antique shop, I started to realize I was like, oh, like this guy is gonna be the one that's trying to kill her now. But I didn't. He's not really mentioned in the 1940s. He's like there, but he's not like a big part.
Yeah.
Emma Thompson was great. Like, how is she not great?
Right.
It felt a little slow too. Yeah, it was good. But like I said, I started to figure it out, and like when I start figuring it out, it becomes less fun.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
You know, movie I didn't figure out? Blue.
Well, I mean, you really couldn't figure it out because there was multiple endings.
That caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
Yep. I do stand firm in my Tim Curry crush. It is not just him as Frankenfurter. It is just Tim Curry. He is handsome. He's handsome in this. He's sexy in Rocky Horror.
Okay.
I gave this a review. What is it? Where is it? There it is. This is my favorite line. But he was your second husband. Your first husband also disappeared. But that was his job. He was an illusionist. But he never reappeared. He wasn't a very good illusionist.
There's just so many iconic
Mrs.
quotes.
White was my favorite. I loved her. She gave me Megan Mullally vibes.
The flames. Flames. Such
yeah.
a good scene.
So good.
Also,
did I leave?
The fact that
I was like, did I like a comment about that? And it's like, and I did, and I hated her so much that the flames on the side of my face, breathing, breathless, heaving breaths. I loved her.
Did it also throw you off that Susan's mom was Miss Scarlet?
I knew she looked familiar.
I can't watch fucking Desperate Housewives because all I can like from Susan's mom to Miss Scarlet is just wild.
I was watching it and I'm like, okay, she looks familiar. Why can I not figure out why I know her? Wow. Wow.
Yep.
I've been wanting to rewatch Desperate Housewives lately. It's not helping.
I know, because it should be our rewatch. I didn't even fucking rewatch last year.
I know. I think we're due.
We are definitely due.
Yeah. No, but this like really subverted my like I knew it was gonna be good, but like it was just fun. I liked it a lot. My review is literally, I knew this was going to be good, but I was not expecting it to be as funny as it is, and a genuinely funny humor to boot. The cast is top notch, with standouts for me being Madeline Kahn and Tim Curry, and the entire thing was so endearing. I really hate that I waited so long to watch this. It's such a fun time. Also, Tim Curry is sexy, and I'm tired of pretending he's not. He's my like guilty pleasure crush I'm not feeling guilty about.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like this is a good like slumber party movie.
It is. It's a great background watch and just rewatch
fun.
ever.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like it actually made me laugh out loud, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that our scavenger hunt?
I think so.
Goodness gracious. Don't let us do this again, but like I'll see you next year.
Yeah, like actually, we have to figure out how to do this episode and condense it into shorter.
Because we go on about the ones that we liked a lot.
I know.
And like sometimes the ones you watched are ones I enjoy, so then I contribute. I say next time we do a 15 movie scavenger hunt.
That sounds better.
Yeah. Okay, we've talked enough, so
yeah.
Don't know what we're doing next week, but anyway.
Do we ever?
No, we never do. But thank you for joining us on this episode of Enter The Fangirls. You can keep up with us on social media. Our Twitter's Enter Fangirls, and our YouTube and Instagram is Enter The Fangirls.
Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, and we can't wait for you to join us on our next episode. Once again, I'm Lexie.
I'm Sam, and this has been Enter the Fangirls.